Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Zoey 101 and welcome to the Third Win channel. Today I'm going to be doing a ranking of the top 15 characters of Zoey 101. I've just rewatched the series for the first time since, 2008, and I just wanted to relive that experience 'cause I'd kind of forgotten about the show and what it was about. And I just have to say it was just a really fun, pleasant experience, and to see a show, it's a kids show after all, and I'm not a kid anymore, and it was interesting to relive that, and to see a show keep me entertained without any kind of adult themes or anything like that. I think that should be commended. But that's a bit of a side note. I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was really great, and let's kick it off with number 15, who is gonna be Dana. So it was tough deciding on who I'd say was the worst character of the show, but for me, partially because she was written off after the first season due to conflicts between the actors, she just felt like a bit of a halfway character. In the end, I'm kind of happy she got written off because we didn't need like a second Logan. She wasn't really Logan, but you saw where they were going, where they were probably gonna put them together, and blah blah blah. And I think it could have been interesting, but her character just, for the period of time that she was in the show, she just wasn't didn't really fit the vibe. This friendly friend group. It just didn't feel like it was going to work. Um, and I liked her replacement better, to be honest. So, yeah, moving on. And remember, she was only in season one. But I'm gonna try to keep their screen time apart and try to look at them for however long they were in the show. Next, at number 14, I have Coco. So Coco is, I've heard she's a fan favorite. I'm not really in the Zoey 101 community, the small one that exists today, but I'd love to join. But I've heard that she's a fan favorite, and I don't understand why, because I think she is not a great person. She's mentally quite unhealthy and it spirals into just some her doing some bad things like stealing, what was it, stealing pies from the girls who were trying to sell it to earn money to pay off their bill or whatever. She just that kind of stuff annoys me, and at first it was okay, but in the end it just ended up with me being any story that revolved around Coco. I was like, okay, can we move on? So the word for her was annoying, and the more time passed, the more they used her in season 3 and 4. I just got tired of her, and that's why she's in number 14 for me. I could have probably even put her in 15. I'm just not a big Coco fan. Moving on, at number 13, I have Vince Blake. We only get him for a very short amount of time in the show, but um, I did enjoy the episode with him, with the 3 episodes I believe with him, or 4. Actually, no, he does appear more in season 4, which the main reason I don't like him is because that 180 shift I think was done a little bit weirdly, and then he's supposed to be this really cool guy afterwards, and Lola ends up with him, which I was never too crazy about. I always thought Michael would be really cool with Lola. So I'm just not a big Vince fan, but I do think that the episodes with him were entertaining, but not necessarily because of him. So he's at my number 13. Next, I have Dean Rivers. And what can I say about Dean Rivers? He's really not comparable to a lot of the other adults we have in other Nickelodeon shows, like, I don't know, in iCarly or Drake and Josh. He serves his purpose, and I think he's funny a lot of the time, but he's not really fit to be a dean, right? And he makes so many irrational decisions. Um, but I do enjoy a lot of the episodes with him, and even the episodes which revolve more around him, they make sense. I just think that he could have been a little bit better. It could have been. I liked it better when Nickelodeon brought in adults that made, you know, were more like role models. And Dean Rivers wasn't that. But my favorite episode of Dean Rivers was the one where his golf trophy was destroyed because he himself went to PCA, and it turned out to be this Scottish guy who was supposed to win the trophy, and it was an entertaining episode. The ones who know, think it's in season 4. It was entertaining. But moving on to number 11, just outside of our top 10, I have James, and I could have had this guy at 13 as well. But he's a decent guy, entertaining enough. He stands up to people. He mocks them a little bit, but to me, he just doesn't fit into the overall vibe of PCA and Zoey 101. He's almost above them. You just feel that way, and not in a good sense. He just feels like he thinks he's above them, and it didn't really make sense for me. The whole all of a sudden Zoe's in a relationship after Chase left, and he hopped to loving her very quickly, and it just didn't make much sense to me, and I don't know. I just didn't enjoy his character so much, and that also, I don't want to get into the plot and whatever too much in this video. I want to make a different video on Zoey 101 for that, but season 4 as a whole, like a lot of these characters just kind of degraded, and these that you see in the bottom 5, other than Dana, some of them were parts of it. But now, moving into our top 10, exciting times. At number 10, I have Stacey Dilshin. I can't do her voice. What she is, Mrs. Cotton Swab, Mrs. Loves Logan, Mrs. Always Has Bad Luck. I think she's just funny. And one of my favorite moments on the show is when Michael hits her with the car, and all of a sudden she doesn't have the lisp anymore. It'd be really cool to see that continued. But what else can I say about Stacey? What do I have written down here? I just wrote down funny. I thought all the moments with her were pretty funny, and she wasn't over the top, which I enjoyed, and she never felt like they exaggerated her performances. So I thought she was funny, and I feel bad for her in multiple occasions, and it's just this slight, not really cringy, but it's just, it's just what it is. Next up, and this might be a big shocker, but I have a Dustin. I'm not a huge fan of Dustin. Just for the show, I don't think he worked as well as they might have thought he did. I wrote down in my notes that he was always a guinea pig, and his friendship with Zoe's friends and what his role was to Zoey in the show always felt a little unnatural. It was supposed to elevate Zoey and make her look better, or to be the guinea pig for weird Quinn experiments, and I don't know. I just think it was to fill space, and I don't really get the sense that he had a social life too much. He had a couple friends, but um, I'll say his best was in season 1. His definite worst was in season 4, whereas characters like Stacey Dilson got better in season 4. He just got worse and worse as the series going on, almost like they didn't know what to do with him. So that's why I have him at number 9. Interested to hear what you guys think about Dustin in the comments, and let me know. By the way, if you got a thought in your head, put it in the comments. I might respond. I'm really interested to see what you guys think, because I really don't know anyone who watches Zoey 101. So, or had to watch. I never talked about the show, and I don't know the community, so I'm really interested to see what people think. Number 8, I have. This could be another shocker. I don't know. I have Quinn. Quinn. I'm a little bit split as to was she better early on, where she was super weird and outcast almost, or if she was better later on. And I think I'd like to side with she was probably better towards the end of the show. Although she did make a huge shift, like she went from this complete outcast weirdo to gawking over guys with Lola, and actually I think the high point of Quinn was the whole Mark relationship. I really liked that. Logan was Her relationship with Logan is cool too, but it's just, I don't know. I guess it was a little steep, as a lot of things were in season 4. But what can I say about Quinn? Why do I have her, comparatively to some of the other main characters? She probably is in more episodes than most in this series, so why do I have such a main character so low? Um, I feel like they abused her in terms of she was always the one they had Logan who has the money, and they have Quinn who has the brains, and if you put those two together, they can solve anything with Zoe's problem-solving skills, which is cool. But I think that there's just too many times where they're like Quinn, and then she solves the problem, and the episode ends, and all's well that ends well, and they're indestructible as a friend group or whatever. In the end, she's just a little. I just wrote in my notes here. She's just a little too much. Um, I think they could have focused on her personality rather than what she's capable of a little bit more. But I did enjoy her, some of her relationships, and overall, an interesting take. Overall, she has a yeah. I'll move on. Let's see. Number 7, I have her dear Mark. So Mark, I know, like, without even knowing the community too well, I know Mark is just the absolute Chad of the show, an absolute boss. Um, was I wrote here that he was honest, but I don't know if he was always honest with Quinn. But in the end, he's a pretty big weirdo, but I really enjoyed it. I like that. Um, you get this. He's almost normal, right? Most of the characters in the show are a little over the top, but he's more, less outgoing and blah blah blah. And I don't know. I enjoyed the contrast always with him and the other characters, and but he is a Chad. I have to say he is quite the boss. Um, Not much to say. I think he belongs around there, somewhere here is about right for Mr. Mark Del Figolo. And when he and sh- when Chase what no not Chase Logan says something like um oh you know if a guy is cool if his name is look at Mark, his name is Mark Del Figolo, and then everyone looks at Mark and it's like the biggest insult. I don't know, just a funny moment. Let's see here, number 6. Let's keep this video moving along. I don't want to waste your whole day. Nicole, I have number 6. And disregarding all the drama behind the scenes with the actors, I think Nicole was a great friend. She was very friendly. She maybe fit the kind of we're all friends theme a little too much, but she's very pure. She's a very pure character, very girly, and she reacts to everything like over the top, but it kind of fits, and that's kind of what her character is. And overall, I think, I mean, I don't even know this if they would have kept her for season 3, which had the 24 episodes it did, or 23. I would love to see how they keep this character fresh, but in the end, she's just a little less interesting. Maybe it's because she got less screen time than Quinn or Lola. In the end, because she missed out on that big season 3. What can I say? I think she deserves to be in the top 6, but I can't put her any higher because we didn't get that expansion with her ever. She was always focused on less than others. Number 5, and this is where I had to sit down for like an hour and really think, like, who do I like more than the other? Why is this one better than the other? Why is this character superior? And it was tough. And my number 1 was clear to me right away, but the others I had to struggle through. And number 5, I have Lola. And I'll say right away, I really like Lola. She's a great character. My notes on Lola, I wrote that she's quirky. One thing that I came upon is that she's very unpredictable, which makes her a really fun character. I I wrote she's very fun. I think she's very fun, and she's a good friend. And oftentimes she'll have a different opinion from the popular opinion, and she's not afraid to say it. She's not afraid to. She's very brave, and yeah, I don't know. She's just a great friend to have in the group. Why is she below the others? Probably because she came later in the series and there's less history. It's hard to compare with someone like Chase and Michael or Logan who have so much more depth because of their history in the show. And it's hard to ignore screen time sometimes, but I'm trying my best. But I think Lola it was very close to being like a top three character for me, and I really enjoyed Lola in the short amount of time, you know. And even when they introduced her, I thought, oh no, this is gonna be another over the top character, because I had forgotten that she was actually quite normal. But when she had that first episode where she was acting to be crazy, that was a good twist for me. I was baffed. I was like, is this really gonna be the new roommate? But turned out really well. Number four, and I decided on my number five quite quickly, but this is where it really got tough. This is where I struggled, and I went back and forth. But in the end, I have Michael as number four, and between number three and four especially, I it could have gone either way. Michael, I wrote he's just a best friend. He's a great friend to Chase. He's a relatable friend. I have some friends like this, and it's always nice to have that best friend. And he's talented. He can cook. He can play the flute. He's a great athlete. He's happy. He's bubbly. He always cheers everyone up. He doesn't like to see people sad. And he's just a good, pure heart. And he's a bit of the not the class clown, but he's a jester, and I like that too. He's brave. He what else? He wasn't afraid to lose the bet to get the girl he liked, and there's just so many likable qualities. I think the thing I like the most about Michael is how good of a friend he is to Chase, and when he helps Chase like get Zoey, and he always pushes him and pokes him, and obviously, I mean, at least for me, I think that the whole like shipping between Chase and Zoey is when you get those high points of the series and the most exciting points. And I think they were really pushing in like season two. They were, like he almost told Zoey that he liked her like so many times, and Michael's always pushing him to do it. And one thing I'll mention is the clip that Michael and Chase's actor made together, like 10 years after the CD thing. Like he finds out what she says on the CD. I thought that was brilliant, and that just made their friendship worth so much more for me. And what can I say? I think Michael's a great character, and I have to move on now. Um, Next, uh, this is gonna be controversial probably, but I have Zoe number three. And I think that if I were to put her anywhere else, it would probably be lower rather than higher. Zoe is our main focus in the show, so she gets most of the most screen time. The what takes so I'll start with what takes away from her. She's put on a pedestal as this brilliant, and she is smart. But she solves every problem, and she has very few flaws, and she's a great sister and all this. And I guess some things that don't make sense to me are some of her emotions and changes of in thoughts with Chase and her relationships and what she values. Sometimes that is inconsistent for me, but uh, overall she's a great problem solver, as they put her up to be. She's the ultimate do-gooder of this show, and I'm split on whether I like Zoe or not. But in the end, like when I had to think about who do I really who's really good in the show, um, who's a great character, in the end, Zoe's up there. I have to put her over most of these characters because she has a little more depth than most of them. Um, on most days, I do think I would put Michael at number three over Zoe. And then, um, I think you can guess who I have at number one, just based on my last two options. And I'm gonna pull them up, both of them at the same time. We got Chase at number one, and Logan at number two. So, let me explain. I don't think there's many people that would be debating heavily towards Chase being number one, but I do think that a lot of people would put Logan way lower on this list. And the reason I have Logan so high is yes, people can point out that, oh, this guy's not the best person, blah blah blah, but he's a great character. And I've never seen a show pull off the whole rich kid thing as well as they have with this show. They made it so that they can do more things in the show, like have a TV show because does this and this, or he shoots or a plot point where they have to both shoot a commercial, like a cheap commercial and an expensive commercial, and he obviously has actors and whatnot, and it just opens so many opportunities, and I think it was a brilliant um, risk as well, because what they're gonna have these controversial characters that's rich and can do anything, and is never punished because he has connections and blah blah blah, and I think that that opens something that is quite real and can be related to real life, and he's a very complex character in terms of his personality. Oh yes, he loves with himself. He loves himself. Blah blah blah, and he thinks he's very attractive. And you know he probably has some insecurities since he gets very defensive and fights back and angry. But in the end, he has a good heart. He wants the best for his friends, and when it comes down to it, he in the end he will always take the side to help his friends. Or in the end of season 3, when Chase finally admits to Zoey, or admits to his friends that he likes Zoey, and he's gonna go for it. You know, Logan's the one to push him over the edge because he wants to see Chase happy. And what else can I say about Logan? He's funny as well, and his character goes full circle with, in the end, him going with the character that he's probably bickered with the most, because he's probably, you know, he it makes sense because often you see people that like each other kind of poke at each other and say things they don't mean. Um, so I thought that was interesting. It was a bit rushed. Season 4 felt rushed. I wish we got 23 episodes to really, you know, thicken the story, but you know, full circle, and I think that overall Logan's a cool guy. And then we get to our number one, which is Chase, who is the most, at least for me, he's the most relatable character. Like what I'd expect, what I went through, or what I expect many to go through in 8th grade or 9th grade. You know, going through crushes or whatever, and his character is just so true. I don't know if it's the acting or what, but he's just such a believable, likable, just fully, I don't know, virtuous character. You always feel like he has your back, and you just root for him. This character that you just every character in the show except Chase, there will be times where you're not rooting for them. You're like, I don't quite agree, but with Chase, I just feel like I'm always on his side, and I understand where he's coming from, and I've been in similar situations. So that's why Chase is for me my favorite character in the show, and I think all the most exciting points are when Chase is interacting with Zoey, and their friendship is so special, and his friendship with Logan or Michael is special as well, and hey, let's not forget his bushy hair, right? But I've not, okay, I won't say I've wasted your time, but I've used up um, a lot of your time, and I'll be nice. I'll end the video here, but in return, I'd like to ask, do you want to see more Zoey 101 content? What do you want to see? Let me know in the comments, because I'm fresh off this show, and I really liked it, and I want to give it a voice. You know, I've heard there's going to be a reboot made potentially, and you know, I want people to hear that this show is, you know, is still good today. It has aged like fine wine. So you can let me know that you want more of this content by subscribing. That lets me know, like, oh, I see people like this content, so I'll make more. Leaving a like or commenting that you liked it. That kind of stuff really helps to understand what you want to see next with this channel. And comment down below what you think, how you would rank these characters, and where did I get it wrong or where did I get it right. And I'm actually really curious. I'm feeling quite confident about this list, so it's going to be good to see. And other than that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and wish you a good day or night or whatever. And I'll see you guys very soon.